Ukrainian stormtroopers are conducting one of the most successful operations in recent months on Dobropillia section of the front. The enemy is trying to attack, but Ukrainian units methodically grind their forces, cut off the reinforcement paths and cover them with crossfire. Russian forces have been surrounded by Ukraine's military near Dobropillia in Donetsk Oblast, according to reports. Recall, Dobropillia, a city in Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast, is located in the Pokrovsk district, currently the hottest sector of the front line, as Russia continues to concentrate more than 110,000 troops in that region. Amidst heavy fighting, Ukrainian forces were able to liberate several nearby towns, including the village of Novomykhailivka. In 2 weeks, it was possible to do what seemed impossible until recently, with the efforts of the 33rd and 425th units of Ukrainian Army, in cooperation with the 1st, 24th and 25th Assault Battalions, as well as the 79th and 82nd Brigades. They were operationally exposed to the enemy. 3 large boilers are clearly visible on the map. The Russians threw here their most combat-capable units, including special forces, in order to disrupt the closure of the ring. But even the elite could not stop the pressure of the Ukrainian stormtroopers. The fighting is heavy, the fighting continues, but the ratio of losses speaks for itself, on average 1 to 5 in favor of Ukraine, and in some areas the ratio is even higher. More and more occupiers, realizing the inevitable end, are surrendering. Our soldiers note that the situation resembles the Battle of Kursk. The enemy is massively laying down weapons, unable to withstand the pressure. This operation already today is becoming an example for military science, how coordinated actions of several strike groups can change the situation in a strategic direction. Earlier this month, reports indicated that Russian troops had advanced toward the Dobropillia-Kramatorsk highway, seizing positions in nearby settlements and allegedly piercing Ukrainian defenses. Ukrainian forces responded with effective measures, halting Russia's advance in the area. In the Ulyanovsk region, employees of the Russian Federal Security Service and border authorities detained a resident of Dimitrovgrad who, according to the agency, planned an assassination attempt on TV presenter Vladimir Solovyov from April 2024 to June 2025 on instructions from the Ukrainian Special Services. According to the Special Service, for this purpose the Dimitrovgrad resident traveled to Moscow to collect information about the public figure's travel routes, the security forces found out. After returning to Ulyanovsk, the detainee allegedly collected data on the location of military-industrial complex facilities. A criminal case has been opened against the alleged criminal for participation in the activities of a terrorist organization, Part 2 of Article 205.5 of the Criminal Code of the Russian Federation. The suspect faces up to 20 years in prison. He has been arrested. The investigation is ongoing. Vladimir Solovyov is a Russian propagandist, TV presenter, and publicist who is a mouthpiece for the Kremlin. He is a member of the United Russia political party, known for his anti-Ukrainian statements and constant dissemination of propaganda. The propagandist works for the Rossiya 1 TV channel. Solovyov repeatedly called for a violent change in the constitutional order in Ukraine and encroached on the territorial integrity of the state. Through his rhetoric, spread on Russian television and social networks, he incited hatred towards Ukraine and Ukrainians and in every way supported the launch of an aggressive war against our state. Solovyov also repeatedly called for strikes on various European cities for providing weapons to Ukraine to protect it from the aggressor country, Russia.
Нормально, мужики.
А?
Да.
Все, на пол быстро!
Давай, Лёпли! На живот!
Бегом!
На живот, Лёп!
Кого?
На живот!
Кого? Кого называй?
На живот!
На живот лег быстро, блин. Руку право.
Руку вытащил! Правую руку вытащил!
Все, вытащил. Правая, фамилия, имя, отчество. На пол его. Ну, туда вот, букву идем. Так, ноги туда, ебальником сюда.
Ага.
Пошел.
Сейчас.
Вниз. Голову вниз.
SBU drones struck the largest oil loading port of the Russian Federation in the Baltic Sea, Primorsk. Fires broke out in the port and at the pumping station, oil loading was suspended. SBU reported this. This night, drones of the Security Service of Ukraine hit the largest Russian oil loading port on the Baltic Sea, which is the final destination of the Baltic pipeline system. Primorsk is a key hub for loading the Shadow Fleet, with the help of which the Russian Federation bypasses international sanctions and sells oil on foreign markets. About 60 million tons of oil pass through the port annually, which brings Russia about $15 billion, the source noted. It is reported that as a result of a successful attack by SBU drones on one of the ships in the port and at the pumping station, fires broke out, and oil loading has been suspended. Estimated daily losses to the Russian budget from the cessation of exports could amount to up to $41 million. The SBU forces also struck a number of Russian oil pumping stations, NPS 3, NPS Andriapol, NPS 7. As is known, they are key elements of the main pipeline system that ensures the supply of crude oil to the U.S. Teluga port terminal. The SBU was the first to systematically introduce so-called drone sanctions against the Russian oil industry. They block the flow of petrodollars into the aggressor's budget. And since the Russian economy is based on oil, every such bang hits their ability to fight against our state. These sanctions will continue until a just peace comes to Ukraine, noted an informed source in the SBU. Let us recall that on the night of September 12, in the Leningrad region, unknown drones struck the Primorsk oil loading port, and one of the ships caught fire. SBU drones also successfully struck 3 oil pumping stations, which are part of a pipeline system funneling crude to the U.S. Teluga port terminal in Leningrad Oblast. The statement comes after Russian officials and media reported a large-scale drone attack targeting Leningrad Oblast, Moscow, and other areas overnight on September 12. Russian air defenses intercepted 221 Ukrainian drones across the country overnight, the Russian Defense Ministry claimed the morning after the strike. Residents of Leningrad Oblast reportedly said the attack was one of the most massive strikes on the region since the start of the full-scale war in 2022.
Вон грибочек поднялся, хорошенький.
Сейчас еще будет.